Just want to say a quick thank you to Anthony Griffin for becoming a member of the Kinetic Rugby League channel. If you want to become a member, just click the join button below this video and join the fantastic group of people that help support the work that I do. But with that being said, let's get on with the video. So, ladies and gentlemen, State of Origin Game 3 2025 is upon us, being played in Sydney at the Accor Stadium in New South Wales. What a game we have in store for us, folks. So I'm going to run through the team list first, then I'll go through some comments on Game 1, Game 2, how I think the game's going to go, and then give you my prediction and a anytime try scorer at the end. But let's start with the team lists for Game 3. Starting with the New South Wales Blues, in the backs they have Dylan Edwards, Brian Toto, Stephen Crichton, Latrell Mitchell, Zach Lomax, Jerome Luai and Nathan Cleary. In the forwards they have Max King, Reece Robson, Payne Haas, Liam Martin, Angus Crichton and Isaiah Yeo. On the bench is Connor Watson, Spencer Leniu, Hudson Young and Stefano Utoikamanu. 18th man is Jacob Kiraz. But taking a look at the Queensland Maroons, in the backs they have Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, Xavier Coates, Robert Toya, Gamat Shibasaki, Valentine Holmes, Cameron Munster and Tom Dearden. In the forwards they have Josh Papali'i, Harry Grant, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, Ruben Cotter, Kurt Capewell and Trent Liero. On the bench is Kurt Mann, Lindsay Collins, Patrick Carrigan and Jeremiah Nanai. The 18th man is Reece Walsh. So with these lineups, one area that could have an advantage for New South Wales over Queensland is consistency in the backline. Toto is comfortable with Latrell, and Crichton is comfortable with Lomax. They've had more time in training camp to understand each other, and more time in training to work on defence, their communication, timing, decision making, etc. Now Queensland have introduced Shibasaki to State of Origin Game 3, so he'll be on debut in a decider, in enemy territory as well. But just like Robert Toya in Game 1, Slater put faith in him and it paid off. Now defensively, Shibasaki is a solid option and he's been scoring plenty of tries recently for the Broncos as well in the NRL. Now I don't get the feeling he's going to have some astronomical game, but I do kind of get the feeling that we'll assess his game afterwards and we'll say, you know what, he did alright. On debut, in those circumstances, he did alright. Now, Queensland will now have Tabuai-Fidow at fullback, and what I said in the squad announcement video was that you get one of the best fullbacks in the game, in his best position, making those sweeping runs on both edges with his insane speed, causing chaos. It hasn't been his best series, and I think he's looked a bit uncomfortable at times in and out of possession, but now with Ponga unavailable, you give him some freedom in his natural position. New South Wales will once again have Luai and Cleary in the halves. They both know each other very well, but one issue for New South Wales is that when they've tried to spread the ball with Cleary in the build-up, there has been a bit of a disconnect with execution and timing, so hopefully they've got that sorted for Game 3. The halves on the other side will be Munster and Dearden once again. Sadly, Cameron Munster did lose his father a few days ago, but he's decided to play in Game 3. So honestly, best of luck to him. I know this one will mean a lot to him. So the final few things I'll say on Cam is I know he'll be well up for this. I really hope he goes well. He did a great job in Game 2. He caused a lot of problems for New South Wales compared to Game 1. And if he can continue that into Game 3, the Blues will have a lot of work to do to slow him down. So honestly, best of luck to Cameron Munster. I wish him all the best in Game 3. Now, the battle up front will be very interesting because New South Wales Blues were clearly better in Game 1 up front, but Queensland Maroons were clearly better up front in Game 2. Haas will be the go-to guy for the Blues, whilst Capewell, he really impressed in Game 2, but he'll also be joined by Josh Papali'i in Game 3, who's been a quality player for the Raiders this year. Then you have impact players off the bench in Leniu and Utoikamanu for New South Wales. Then you have Carrigan and Collins for Queensland. Collins was an absolute monster in Game 2, and I see no reason to think he'll be any different in Game 3. So who do I think wins the battle in the middle? Well, I think it's going to be very close for starters, but honestly, I think it's Queensland. But in Game 2, New South Wales Blues took some time getting used to the speed of the game. So if they're ready for it from the start, they might not have to spend so much time trying to catch up this time around. I think if Nathan Cleary can establish a long-range kicking game, turning those big Queensland forwards around, wearing them down, they can equalise the battle up front and possibly start to suffocate Queensland in their own half like they did in Game 1 at times. I think the Blues will be a little more adventurous with their plays in the midfield, which may come with mistakes that they need to back up defensively when they turn over the ball. I think Queensland will move the ball wide in the midfield as well. but maybe stay flat, not using as much shape, just to make sure they're safer in possession, but still using the width to find more metres up the field, and using the big guys through the middle as well to get those quick play the balls for Harry Grant. And he's got that connection with Cam Munster at the Melbourne Storm, and we even saw a few moments between them, including a try in Game 2, where they just knew what each other wanted, what each other needed. They can read each other because they've got that connection. So in Game 3, I'm going to lean slightly towards Queensland in the forwards, but New South Wales Blues in the backs, just based on personnel. So who makes the difference? Well, who are the big game players? Who are the guys that you trust to show up in the biggest games? Queensland have Xavier Coates, who's played in the biggest games. They have Valentine Holmes, Cameron Munster, Harry Grant, Josh Papali'i, and Lindsay Collins. New South Wales, conveniently for them, they have Dylan Edwards, Brian Toto, Latrell Mitchell, Stephen Crichton, Jerome Luai, Nathan Cleary, Liam Martin, and Isaiah Yeo. A lot of that Panthers core together again. And as much as I really respect what Toya and Shibasaki have done this season, they are facing Latrell Mitchell and Stephen Crichton in a State of Origin Game 3 decider in New South Wales. That is a hell of a tall task for them to deal with. But the final piece, who I spoke about in Game 1. I'm a huge fan of this guy, and I think regular viewers will know exactly who I'm about to talk about. I think when a team needs something, a spark from somewhere, a moment of brilliance, either in defence or in possession, this guy might only get 10 minutes. Genuinely might get 10 minutes in Game 3. But I am looking at Connor Watson to be the guy that just finds that spark if it's needed towards the very end of the game. And I think this one could go to the very end, and I think Connor Watson just can provide that moment just to either steady the ship, going with a big hit, just create that spark from absolutely nowhere possibly in possession, just when the Blues need it. So with that being said, I'm going to go with New South Wales Blues 26, Queensland Maroons 22. And for a try scorer, I'm going to go with Brian Toto. So there you have my State of Origin Game 3 predictions. If you guys have your own, please do let me know in the comment section down below. But as always, if you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like. It does help to get the video out there to more people. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with more Kinetic Rugby League content. There's a Discord invite link in the description if you want to join that. But if you'd like to become a member, you can do by clicking the join button below this video and joining for as little as £1 per month. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.